Good evening and welcome to another edition of the School Zone. I'm your host, Stephanie Whitlock. Once again, the Sioux Falls School District and Veenis Motor Cars honored outstanding teachers in our district. Let's take a look at the finalists for Sioux Falls Teacher of the Year. Then we will introduce you to the winner.
Walk into Kathy Beaudoin's music room and at times you might wonder just what on earth is going on. During her 24-year teaching career, Kathy has found a unique way of helping Harvey elementary students learn to appreciate music by encouraging them to learn about composing, creating, inventing, and listening.
I am a teacher because I want to show my students the path to self-confidence and joy through music. I want my students to be filled with the same enthusiasm for learning that I have for teaching.
Described by her colleagues as energetic and hands-on, Kathy takes time to learn about each of her students, giving special attention to special learners.
Kathy demonstrates a variety of teaching strategies to meet the diverse needs of the students she serves.
Says Jane Rood, Cleveland Elementary music teacher. Teresa Pertel, a colleague and parent, says Kathy's music class builds self-esteem among students.
Music is in her heart, and she shares it with everyone who walks through her classroom door.
I hope that my students will leave with a smile on their face, knowledge in their brains, and a song in their heart.
Congratulations, 2006 Teacher of the Year finalist, Kathy Beaudoin.
I solemnly promise.
I solemnly promise.
Susan Greeno began her education career as a Head Start teacher in Sioux Falls. Today she teaches 5th grade at All City Elementary.
After 27 years, you would think I'd have this teaching thing down to a science, yet just the opposite is true. Each year is completely different. New students, new abilities, new curriculum standards. However, I am the one constantly challenging and improving my classroom standards. I expect it of my students, so why not myself?
Susan is a graduate of Augustana College and the University of South Dakota and continues to take courses at the University of Sioux Falls. All City Principal Kevin Dick says,
Mrs. Greeno is one of those rare educators who not only teaches academic subjects as required by the curriculum, but also gets to know her students personally and strives to achieve growth in all aspects of each student's life.
5th grade student Audrey Shattuck nominated her teacher. The most important thing about Miss Greeno is that she makes people feel really good inside. Congratulations, Susan Greeno, finalist for Teacher of the Year 2006.
I am a teacher because I am passionate about sharing what I know and believe with children.
Okay, tell me some ways that you are different.
Music educator turned elementary counselor Valerie Horacek has been in the Sioux Falls School District for half of her 26 years as an educator. She uses a combination of research-based models to set expectations and help students through difficult situations. Former principal Anya Hookman writes,
In her work as a school counselor, she has been placed in the most challenging schools in the Sioux Falls district, with full confidence of her superiors that she would be able to handle situations and people that would be difficult for many others.
Valerie encourages students to be good problem solvers by training 4th and 5th graders to act as peacemakers on the playground. Hawthorne Elementary Principal Cheryl Larson says Valerie is a master of building strong, healthy relationships, and her personality promotes a positive learning and working environment for everyone. Valerie received her education from Mount Marty College, South Dakota State University, and is currently taking classes at Augustana College. Congratulations, Valerie Horacek, 2006 Teacher of the Year finalist.
We must adhere to the principle that the majority shall rule. Abraham Lincoln said that in...
Teacher of the Year nominee John Knorr isn't just an 8th grade American history teacher at O'Gorman Junior High. He's also an author, worldwide traveler, student, and friend.
I have developed a reasonable plan for discipline, but I keep a good sense of humor too. I communicate my expectations, provide a structured classroom, encourage all students to participate, and expect kindness and respect for others.
John earned his bachelor's degree at the University of South Dakota and his master's from South Dakota State University, where he continues coursework today. Colleagues and parents marvel at how John is able to breathe new life into the past found in history books through such assignments as one titled History of Me, which encourages students to write a personal history of their families. Student Claire Wilco writes, "Family is one of the most important parts of life. Mr. Knorr has a family, but he still manages to stay committed to us, his students." When parent Teresa Palmatier was trying to help her teenage daughter fit in a new school, it was John Knorr who gave her hope, even following up the conversation with phone calls to see how things were going.
Mr. Knorr enlightened me to the world of adolescence, comforting me with experience that this situation would indeed get better. He is a shining light in the adolescent storm of hormones, spurts, and mood swings.
Congratulations, John Knorr, finalist for Teacher of the Year 2006.
Teachers have always been an integral part of my life.
As a junior in high school, Virginia Olson knew she was destined to follow in the teaching footsteps of her father and favorite aunt.
California, you're doing the new calendar holdover, make sure you get that done. Child development, Jen set up the pictures for those little children when they're here, please. That story. And then
Virginia has been teaching creative writing, American and British literature, and journalism for the past 7 years at Lincoln High School. She also serves as the advisor for the school's award-winning Statesman newspaper. Parent Ann Burrish writes,
"The two most remarkable talents are her energy and her ability to find and foster her students' undiscovered strengths, often abilities that neither they nor their parents have recognized."
Under Virginia's direction, her students have written 16-page children's books, earned press passes to presidential speeches, and conducted toy and clothing drives for babies of high school mothers. Virginia earned her bachelor's degree from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and her master's from the University of Nebraska-Omaha. She's also earned graduate credits at several other institutions. Former English language learner Thomas Madut, who himself is now majoring in education, says,
Everyone wants to take her classes because she is an awesome teacher.
Congratulations, Virginia Olson, finalist for Teacher of the Year 2006. Energetic, devoted, and maybe even a little crazy. That's how students and fellow teachers describe Mary Schmitz.
Why, in the infinite wisdom of American history, would we write the date 1865? What took place in 1865? Beautiful.
Asked to write about the unusual things she does to stimulate learning in her classroom, Schmitz replied, "I draw, I sing, I dance, all the while teaching history, literature, and composition. Singing a stanza of an Emily Dickinson poem to the theme of Gilligan's Island reinforces the meter and rhyme in her verse. And the concept of island hopping in the Pacific during World War II, well, I can guarantee that the students whose desks I've leaped upon aren't quick to forget General MacArthur's military strategy." 24-year education veteran Mary Schmitz teaches American Studies, American Literature, and reading strategies at Roosevelt High School. Colleague Matthew Okerlund says,
As a teacher, she has it all. A superior knowledge of her content area, a keen ability to manage a classroom, a willingness to innovate and reinvent, a generous distaste for ignorance, and a heartfelt passion for the well-being of young people.
Mary did her undergraduate and graduate work at South Dakota State University and continues to take courses at the University of Sioux Falls. Congratulations to this 2006 Teacher of the Year finalist. It's not always easy for sixth graders to find their niche in middle school, but social studies and reading teacher Karyn Veenis does her best to lessen the shock. Karyn's ability to erase the fear and anxiety of incoming sixth graders is a gift, says fellow teacher Cheryl Carlson. A matter of words and books, Karyn's classroom is a mini library. Principal Steve Albrecht and Assistant Principal Sandy Watson marvel at the respect students show for the many social studies projects that spill from her classroom into the hallway.
An intricate rainforest next to the building was undamaged while it greeted hundreds of students daily. The respect that students have for Karyn Veenis is evident.
Now, key is that you cut short pieces.
Karyn has been in the district 14 years. She did her undergraduate work at Northern State University, completed her Master's of Education at the University of Sioux Falls, and continues to pursue graduate-level reading courses.
I'm a teacher because of students, stories, and the power of words. I come home exhausted, but I'm never bored.
Congratulations, Karyn Veenis, 2006 Teacher of the Year finalist.
Karyn Veenis, it is my honor to congratulate you as the 2006 Vern Teacher of the Year.
She thought there were just 4 professions for women when she was growing up, since she hated the smell of hospitals, couldn't fathom being confined to a cubicle, and loved books and basketball. The 2006 Falls Teacher of the Year chose teaching. Visit Karyn Veenis' 6th grade classroom at Patrick Henry Middle School, and you'll see she made a wise choice. Veenis calls teaching a work of art in progress, much like the students she molds in her classroom.
It's just been amazing, the kindnesses that people have extended to me, and the warmth and the caring. I said to the faculty, you know, it's been a lot of attention for a Norwegian farmer, because it's just like, oh my goodness gracious. But I've just tried to receive it.
I wasn't surprised because she is a really, really good teacher. And when I told my mom about it, my mom wasn't surprised either, and she's barely even met Miss Veenis.
She's really hands-on, like books. Like she'll read poems a lot. She really seems to really like poems and books, and she is interested in what we're doing over the weekend and everything, and current events that we know are happening.
She always keeps us wondering stuff like that, and she always asks us questions. And I've learned a lot more. Like last year, our teacher, since she taught everything, social studies, I wasn't very interested, but this year I've really, really liked social studies because she just keeps it so interesting.
Well, I try to keep it fresh, you know, and I hate to be bored, and when school feels like it's a drag on me, then I'm thinking, what is it like for the kids? Because they often have to sit, and it just can't be lecture, 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 because it's too interactive in our day and age. And so how can I, you know, motivate all their senses? So I really try to work at ways that they can hook their facts onto things that they know. You know, always making connections, because there's so much information out there. I mean, even as I as a teacher, I'm overloaded with it. And I thought, okay, well, how do we process this, and how do we make meanings with all this stuff so that we can grow? You know, sometimes I heard someone say, I wish we could have those kids back again, because to do what we know now. You know, hats off to all the people of experience. I mean, if you're really tired with school, then you should leave. But experience, I know power plays where, when I was younger, they are not an issue. I know how to sidestep those things, and I think that comes with feeling secure about your teaching with that. So, and that is always the beauty of teaching, is that I remember Susan Greeno said, you know, every year I learn, and I don't do it the same way every year, you know, because I want to be engaged. And then, you know, our school is really good about on-service training, and so now we're talking about how you individuate for kids, that, you know, one particular book is right for every kid, and how to have levels of books so that you meet them at where their skills are. One of the things that I've always been uncomfortable is when you go into rooms and there's a lot of canned pictures and even responses like "do your best" or stuff like that. And in the latter years, I've just been more and more interested in art, and so I really try to bring art into the classroom. But the one thing about middle school developmentally is a very social time for kids, and I think they need other students to learn from. And that's one thing that I have changed, is that I'm, not the sage on the stage, but that there's a lot of peer teaching and learning, and I like to celebrate that. And when they teach me something, what they've read with online or in different books like that. And sixth graders are fabulous. They are absolutely, I know sometimes you go, how many times do I need to repeat this? But they still have that joy of learning, and so it's just been wonderful to work with sixth graders. Yeah, I'm never bored with them. It's like my strengths are complemented by the science person's strengths. And so the areas that we're not as strong, someone else is strong in that area. And I mean, just to deal with kids who really are, have a lot of roller coaster, their bodies are changing dramatically, their emotions are changing dramatically. And this whole thing of moving from one teacher, one classroom. I mean, we so support each other. So I can't speak highly enough about the teachers here at Patrick. And even with other teams, you think it would get competitive, well, they're doing that, so we have to do that. But my sense is that you feel supported to go and do what your team feels like you need to do for your group of kids. Because every year the kids are different, and go for different strategies and different plans and even different field trips or different ways of celebrating and of course different ways of studying and covering the curriculum with that. Last year we did a big project with a mosaic, which was really big with the Greeks and the Romans. And we put that same Parthenon up, but it did not have the same sense of joy and energy about that. And I thought it's because the process has already been done and we're just putting up a product. And to me, that's what brings kids alive, and that's what they remember, are that kinetic energy that's in the classroom. And that's as good as, getting the diploma too. It's that journey thing that they always talk about.
Veenis is also known among her students for organizing huge classroom parties to celebrate such things as the state's birthday, an immigrant student citizenship, and a wide variety of other cultural celebrations. Recently, students in the Sioux Falls schools took part in the Dakota Step test. To help prepare 7th grade students at Whittier Middle School, teachers encourage students to think math. Let's find out more.
My name is Tina Schmitterer. I teach 7th grade math at Whittier Middle School. We've been working very hard, all the 7th grade and 6th grade and 8th grade math teachers, on getting our students ready for the Dakota Step testing, coming up starting tomorrow actually. We have been working on, specifically in 7th grade, our math standards, which include geometry, algebra, percents, fractions. We have a long list of standards that we need cover prior to the test, so we try to get as many as we can covered in the days prior to the test. We use a lot of ways to get the standards across, meaning we go to the computer lab to enhance some of our geometry skills. We have algebra packets that we teach through to get them a little boost on that to help them get stronger. Our percent unit is probably our longest unit that we spend time on. That goes usually from fall until Christmas, kind of maybe an October to a Christmas. So that's one of our larger units. Fractions is another point that we try to come across as strong, because fractions seem to be an aspect of everything that we study. And we also try to tell the students that math isn't just like a chapter, it's a lifetime. Meaning what we learn in September we'll be using in May. So we try to come up with ways that we can keep their math concepts kind of in the front of their brain instead of letting it slide back, and we often use that as a term. We wanted to bring in the Think Math t-shirts to help promote that idea. Not only is math in our four walls in our classroom, but math is from the time you get up and you look at the clock to the time you go to bed, and you look at the clock, figuring out how long do I get to sleep, how long do I have time, how much time is it going to take me to get ready. We try to just kind of integrate math to all parts of their lifestyle. So we try to create a comfort zone in math, rather than sometimes when even adults think that they are not good at math. In actuality, you have to be good at math or life just gets a little more complicated, because we try to enhance the basics so that they are ready to jump into any type of curriculum that they might be faced with.
Well, my name is Jocelyn Ventura, and the T-shirt is not just for just Dakota step testing. It's for saying that there's math everywhere, wherever you go, and math will always follow you. And the T-shirt is just like an example.
Hi, my name is Maggie, and I think for math, we have these Think Math shirts, and it's to get us going in math, to think about it, and we're all getting together as a team, and we're performing it, and we'll get Think Math pencils, and it's to just not make us think about as math as a bad thing, but as also it could be fun and exciting, and it can help you a lot in things. It's not only focused on one thing.
My name is Brittany, and throughout our whole team, I think that the important things that will be on the SATs will be the percents that we've covered, and the fractions and geometry and stuff, and the team teachers are helped us out so much and stuff.
Young Republicans from Lincoln High School had a chance to hear from U.S. lawmaker when Senator John Thune stopped by recently for an after-school visit. When Congress is not in session, Thune travels the state and makes regular stops at schools to talk with teens, most who still aren't old enough to cast a ballot.
It's always a great privilege and opportunity for me when I get a chance to come and visit with them a little bit, and I always learn a lot. They're very involved, they're very engaged, they pay attention, and I think it's good for me, just from a practical standpoint, to be able to come here and listen to what's on their minds, because obviously to be a good representative, that's what representative government's all about, but hopefully at the same time to encourage them to take more interest, to become more involved, to be engaged in public life. Maybe someday there's some candidates in this room, who knows, for mayor or state legislature or governor or Congress. And so it's always, I enjoy coming to the schools, visiting with young people, and just being able to listen to them and hopefully encourage them a little bit.
If it appears that Thune feels right at home with these Lincoln High School students, that's probably due to the fact that his own daughters are the same age, going to school across town at Roosevelt High School. He says he's always impressed with how much today's students know about government.
Go into any high school group now, and it used to be a lot of times that they didn't sometimes pay that much attention, but now they've got internet. These kids are watching, they're watching cable news shows. They are very informed, very knowledgeable. They have, in many cases, strongly formed opinions, which is good too to hear, and they ask very probing questions, and I think that's great. I think their minds are working, they're challenging themselves and their belief systems and the things that they want to see happen as they get older, and I think those are good qualities.
Thune launched a 45-minute question and answer session explaining how a chance meeting with Congressman Jim Abner piqued his interest in politics. He encouraged students to take their right to vote seriously.
And I have to say that I guess, I've gone through 2 elections that were decided by a handful of votes, how important it is that everybody participate and stay involved. It really is, and everybody says, well, it could come down to your vote, and we all say, forget it, why should I participate, why should I care? But the truth of the matter is, it is your future that we're talking about, and every decision that gets made in Washington, D.C. today, or that's made in the state capitol and here, or even for that matter here at City Hall, is going to impact the world that you're going to live in. And that's why it's important that you participate in that process.
About 40 students and staff members attended the forum and learned Thune's take on topics, such as possible cuts to social programs in the upcoming budget, Iran, whether public schools should teach the concept of evolution, and the senator's support of the federal marriage amendment, which would define as a union between a man and a woman only. The majority of his visits, however, was spent answering questions about the status of illegal immigrants in the U.S.
This is a very hot issue, as you know, right now. I believe 3 things. One is that we have to enforce our borders. We have to secure our borders. We can't have people coming here illegally. And if people in the street don't think we're serious about enforcing our borders, then nobody is going to abide by the rule of law. We are a nation first and foremost of laws. We have to enforce those laws. We have to enforce our borders. President Ronald Reagan once said, a country that can't control its borders can't control its destiny. So that first and foremost is we have to make sure that we are, as a matter of national security, if for no other reason. Because who knows, the next terrorist, 9/11 terrorist attacker might not come across one of our borders illegally. And right now we've got like thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people on a yearly basis coming across the borders illegally. So we have to secure the borders. Secondly, I believe that we cannot reward illegal behavior. In other words, confer amnesty, full benefits of citizenship on people who have broken the law. I think that sends the wrong message. Now, I would also say, then thirdly, that we do need to have a legal way whereby people who are here and want to come here, can come here legally, can work and contribute, can pay taxes, be a part of our society and our culture. But we need to have a legal mechanism for doing that. And in my view, it should not include what is known as amnesty. And that is, again, giving full benefit of citizenship to people who have come here illegally. I think we want to put incentives in place for people to abide by the law, to come here legally.
We had a good range of questions, and people seemed genuinely interested, in the responses. So it was, that's how it went.
The president of Lincoln's junior Republicans, Natalie Cromwell, has already been helping on a few campaigns and thinks she may follow in Thune's footsteps one day, entering the political arena.
I'm really glad that he addressed the immigrant concern, and stuff. The more recent issues, because students are also concerned, even though most of them can't vote, they're still really concerned about what's going on, and they like to take an interest in it. So I'm glad that he addressed the immigrant stuff and the abortion as well. So,
while it was clear that students' minds were on bigger social issues, Thune still thinks it's important to get back to the basics of why he's visiting Lincoln High School, making sure students are getting a good education. He says higher learner standards continue to dominate the education conversations in the Senate.
Well, I think probably more than anything else, the thing we hear the most about in the world of education is No Child Left Behind, and the both benefits and advantages and some of the difficulties and challenges and problems with implementation of that, and suggestions for possible improvements to it. So I'd say that's probably the issue we hear the most about. But I think that the other thing too that we're facing a lot nowadays, especially in some of our more populated areas, is we're trying to make sure that our kids stay on the right track. You hear more and more about methamphetamine use, and that's a real concern here in Sioux Falls and elsewhere around the state too. So those are challenges, but the thing you have to keep focusing on is how many really good kids we have, and I am always impressed with the quality of the young people in South Dakota, their interest level, their character, and it makes me feel good about our future.
That is all this month's edition of the School Zone. Join us the fourth week of the month when we take a new journey into the School Zone. Good night.